Hello everyone, Mimikins here. I previously made a video talking about the huge announcement of PSO2 New Genesis and the graphical overhaul it was bringing to the series, and currently the ongoing PSO2. This was all announced at the Microsoft Game Showcase. Barely an hour had passed when I uploaded my video when more details were revealed. So I thought I'd wait in case they had more to share, and very recently they did just that. So in this video I'm going to share all the information we know so far about New Genesis and how this affects PSO2 in general. New Genesis is both a brand new title and an update. Sega are basically going to run the two games alongside each other so you can experience both with the same character. The original game is going to see a revamp of the graphics so it's comparable to current gen games. Hopefully this includes a revamp of the UI, which although adequate and has everything you would want, is not as intuitive as modern games and does take some getting used to. Perhaps I'm being too nice here. Let's be honest, it's an utter mess. There's lots of small things the game doesn't tell you, like changing classes on the spot by using a macro command rather than always going to the NPC desk. Just condensing these things so it's easily accessible to anyone who picks up the game would make it more friendly to use. Perhaps even adding in a command list with all the shortcuts that the game doesn't currently tell you could remedy some of that. If such a command list already does exist and I just haven't found it yet, then that further proves my point for a much needed rework. The setting of New Genesis takes place 1,000 years after the Oracle's battle in the original PSO2. It will feature a wide open battlefield which Sega call a new living world that changes with the passage of time and weather, which is very different from what players are currently used to, with much of the world you visit being restricted to corridors with the occasional open space. I feel like this is the best of both worlds, being able to play the original game, which is still very fun with enhanced visuals, while having a whole new world to explore. Some things are going to be shared between the universes, emotes and other registered data will be shared, which is a relief because I spent too much in-game money buying dance emotes and gestures. I should probably mention that the emotes I have bought on PSO2 have actually been account-wide and usable on all characters I've created. Although your character can be used between the worlds, the character growth is restricted to each person of PSO2. This includes levels, EXP, skills, photon arcs and techniques. Currency affecting the game economy will not carry over. Each game will have their own economy, so if you're starting fresh you don't have to worry about inflation, which can be understandably off-putting for players who have yet to give the game a try. Arts cash and star gems are shared between both games. PSO2 is free to play, but they do have an online shop to support the game, which sells convenience items and scratch card tickets for cosmetics. While AC can only be bought for real life cash, SG can be farmed in-game as well. I'll make it clear for potential new players that this game is not pay to win whatsoever. They actually have a small campaign running at the moment where you can log in for some free SG and earn up to 100, so you could create an account on the original PSO2 to have some ready for when NGS launches. Weapons, units and mags obtained in PSO2 can be used in NGS as well. The fundamental weapon design is not going to change, however their stats, augments and potentials will, and some of the weapons will be locked behind character level and class. Units will become armour that's not visible, including units you have obtained in PSO2. Mags will no longer aid you in battle or affect your stats, however the evolution device data, which is how your mag looks, will carry over. So effectively, for the time being at least, your mag in NGS will be nothing more than a pet that follows you around. Mags have been an important core part of the PSO experience since the Dreamcast days, and I suspect they have something else planned for them in NGS. I don't see mags being reduced to simply being pets. I think we have more to see on this topic yet. So it seems to me all the customizations which make your character feel personal, including things you purchase from the cash shop, will remain. However, you'll be gaining a whole new experience with an incredible open world to explore, while still keeping the original PSO2 intact. Now, open world could mean several things. For example, in a game like World of Warcraft you go through several zones across a continent without loading screens. Or in games such as FF14 or FF11, the zones are connected but have loading screens between them. Then on the other hand you have Monster Hunter World, which gives the illusion of open world by using a hub-based system that loads you into a large map. My personal belief is that it's going to be more akin to the Monster Hunter World style. I think we'll still be loading quests from a hub-based town or ship that launches us into a massive map. We'll have to wait and see which of these types of open world NGS turns out to be. While we already know NGS is releasing on Xbox and the Microsoft Store, it has also been announced that PSO2 is coming to Steam on August the 5th. Since the game data is stored online with Sega, you can switch which format you play the game on if you want. PSO2 is going to be widely available for people to play. So far we have the Microsoft Store for Windows 10 and Xbox, as well as the Japanese site listing it for PS4 and Nintendo Switch. Sega has stated that if PSO2 comes to a format, they will get NGS as well, and it's likely to be cross-play with all formats like it is in Japan. If you play through Steam, you'll get some exclusive rewards based on Valve's celebrated franchises. Reward 1 requires you to log in and collect the items from the Visiphone under campaign items. As well as some character boosting items, you will gain the emote 720 Head Crab, which is from Half-Life. Logging into PSO2 on Steam and completing any quest on normal or higher, you can get a Pyro's gas mask from Team Fortress 2 as well as Alex's hair from Half-Life. You'll gain 2 of these items so they're usable across your account. To those of you who don't understand what I mean about how 2 items means cross-account, it works like this. The first cosmetic item you use, it's unlocked for that character specifically. The second time you use the same cosmetic, it unlocks for any future characters you make on that account. Logging in from Steam and completing any quest on hard difficulty or higher will reward you with a Wheatley Mag Evolution device from Portal 2, a minigun weapon camo from Team Fortress 2, a frying pan camo from Left 4 Dead, and a crowbar weapon from Half-Life. Log on to PSO2 from Steam and complete any 3 quests on very hard or higher to get a HEV suit from Half-Life 2. And finally log into Steam and complete any quest 4 times on super hard or higher to receive an Alex replica outfit from Half-Life Alex. These are some of Steam's biggest in-house games. Left 4 Dead 2, although an older game from 2009, is still alive, fun to play and has a crazy amount of player mods. I just wish Valve would get round to making the 3rd one. Team Fortress 2 still regularly features in Steam's top 10 played games despite being from 2007, and Half-Life Alex came out as a VR game earlier this year to critical acclaim. I would love to play it, but I don't have a VR setup yet. I'll need to get working on that. Character customization in NGS is going to be even bigger. I can't comprehend how in depth this is going to be because PSO2 character creation is very flexible. Probably the most robust I've ever seen in a game, alongside Ion, the Tower of Eternity. Not only do they have different races, human, Numens, Doomens and caste, but the customization within them can be micromanaged to a fine art. Unless people are going a preset character, it's very rare to see 2 characters that look the same, without even factoring in the cosmetics that set them apart. Fashion is so big in PSO2 that people spend hours perfecting their character and look. In fact, they even have a system called Lookbook, where players can upload their favourite character style for other players to view and like. This is definitely where Sega make all their money, which I'm fine with as it's a choice. Sega have already stated that they're going to follow a similar model for New Genesis, providing optional convenience items and cosmetics for your character. That's not to say your character has to look bad because you don't want to pay, as there are other ways to get cosmetics in the game, including from other players' shops. It's probably one of the better free-to-play models out there. I can't stand games that you invest time into only to find out the endgame content is locked behind paywalls, or you need to spend real-life money to upgrade items. PSO2, while grindy in some aspects, does reward you for your time spent. New Genesis, as well as the obvious visual upgrades and UI changes, bring some more subtle changes like the damage number crunch. We can see from the trailer at level 20 the damage he's dealing is running into the double digits. PSO2 at level 20 you can do hundreds if not thousands of damage. Towards the PSO2 endgame, players are able to hit the damage cap in some situations, which is 1 point shy of a million. While it's not as bad as some games out there, if you've played RPGs like Diablo, the endgame got quite ridiculous with numbers, sometimes in the billions and trillions. It all becomes hard to keep a track of on screen. By having smaller numbers, it's much cleaner and easier to see how well you're performing using different equipment and abilities. Also, the game looks so good, I don't want that being obscured by silly amounts of numbers popping up all over the place. Sega are also giving movement enhancing abilities to everyone. In the current PSO2, some emergency quests such as the Rule Upon Mining Base favoured classes which were able to move around the map faster. This would sometimes dictate for me what class I'd pick to go on certain quests, and I don't think it should be that way. It could be quite frustrating at times rushing to an enemy only to have someone obliterate it before you've taken 2 steps towards it. With these new abilities, it should even out the playing field, so you can play whichever class you like rather than which one can zoom around the map faster. With these new large expansive worlds, movement is definitely going to be a factor, so I'm pleased they seem to have addressed this imbalance. As much as I like the new expansive world, I hope that lobbies will still play a part in NGS. PSO2 has a lobby that makes you feel part of the community, from daily concerts which people group around to watch, to an online casino where you can play blackjack, rappy slots or other mini games. They also decorate their lobbies when they have seasonal updates and crossover events like this Sonic one, and the music will change as well. You can even get the music for your personal room. Sega have said furnishings will not transfer to NGS, so I wonder what that means. Will we have another room? It is 1,000 years ahead of PSO2, so I'm sure there will be new technologies and perhaps even an overhaul on how the room is designed. This is a huge undertaking for Sega, a massive graphical overhaul on a game which I enjoy, while offering a new game which I can't wait to try out. For me, playing PSO can be anything you want it to be. You can play it like a hack and slash, or play as a third-person shooter, a force casting techniques, a healer looking after your group, or even micromanaging with a pet class. There's a lot to offer to suit different playstyles, and if you get bored you can change up. There's easy content that anyone can complete, and there's also harder content that can 1 and 2 shot you if you're not paying attention. For some players out there, it's a glorified chat room. For others, it's an online shopping addict's heaven. And then you get the players who just want to play the economy, and they enjoy nothing more than earning in-game money and seeing their business ventures thrive. For many, it's a place for true weebs to gather without feeling ashamed. It just ticks so many boxes for one game, which is why I think is the reason I like it so much. It's not just one thing, it's many. I'm going to keep following this game and report any new findings I come across. It's definitely a game I want to cover on the channel, and a game that will get a new lease of life where veteran and new gamers can enjoy some time together. Whether you like anime style games, action, RPG, or just want to hang out for a chat with fellow gamers, then you should really consider checking this one out. After all, it's free and you have nothing to lose. Thanks for watching, please support the channel by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.